Alright, so we're here with the new Mists of Pandaria talent calculator, where we're going to be doing a little series of kind of theory crafting and discussion about what everything is about. I am Ultranox, I guess, and
And I'm Nez.
he's Nez. Um, Today we're going to start with a little bit of common ground that we have, being the Druid, because we both have a Druid, even though I don't play mine very much anymore. But we're just going to kind of dissect what this is and the fact that it is now the only class in the game with 4 talent specs.
Yes.
Yeah, so where do we want to start?
Let's start with the, balance, feral, guardian, wrestle. Let's pick a balance since it's at the top there. Um,
Well, the way, because we already kind of went into the details of warriors before we were recorded, and we discovered that one of the biggest changes, which is a recurring theme in every single class, is going to be that your talents and your specialization are now 2 completely different things. Where your specialization is basically just the spells that you get, and you get a whole bunch of passive abilities that used to be talents, you get them just for speccing into it. And I think, like if I click on balance here,
right.
you go to the specific spec tab that shows you what makes that spec different in the spells and abilities than the other specs.
And passives.
Yeah, you get certain passive abilities at specific levels. Like, you don't just get them all automatically for speccing in. Like, you get shooting stars at 26, or at 46, stuff like that, along with your spells. So now you're going to be gaining a lot more passive abilities with every single class because they removed so many talents in order to simplify things.
Right. And they're also taking, like he said, they're taking classes that would normally be, talent specific, and they're giving it to the class, in general, not class spec specific, into the whole entire class. So like, say if you were to have, let's see, what's over here, like thrash maybe, or no,
For what? Feral?
for feral maybe, if they would give that to like a feral druid. Let's see.
Yeah, things are a lot more interchangeable in this kind of thing. But, like, to sum it up, basically, when you choose your spec, that just lets you learn certain new spells from your class trainer instead of speccing into them.
Right.
The talents are now a completely separate thing. Um, you can have the same talent setup for any of your 3 specs, or 4 specs in the case of the druid. Um, so, I don't know, the spec is going to be kind of irrelevant. First, let's just go through the actual talent system, and we'll kind of analyze which talents benefit which spec, because I really want to see what they're doing with the druid talents to make it like go hand in hand with 4 different kinds of things, because the druid's a complicated class to do that with. You have to have that same simplified talent system as every other class in the game, but as opposed to like a solo DPS class where it would be easy to make them like work with every spec, you have to have talents now that work with tanking and healing and DPS. Like, every single talent has to be useful to all 4 specs, which I want to see how they do that. So let's get into it.
Right. So we'll start off. We'll just switch on and off. So I'll take on 15. So the first talent is feline swiftness. Increases your movement speed by 10% and by an additional 20% while in cat form. So I'm gonna say, that's
I'm gonna say that doesn't make any sense at all, because, like, that just completely contradicts what I said and the fact that it only works in cat form.
right. Well, it's in. It doesn't say you don't have to be in a form for the extra 10% if you spec into that. So that's just the movement speed. So like,
Okay, so it is a little bit useful to other specs. Just slightly. I guess if you're gonna spec into that, I don't know, I could see it viable in balance, where, I mean, you're getting torn to pieces by melee classes in PvP a lot, and when you get those kind of like mushroom slows on them and roots on them, that's just going to help you get that much extra distance between them in PvP. Like, a lot of these talent specs are just engineered towards PvP, whereas your actual specialization is what's going to help you in PvE. So that's that. I mean, it's a decent choice, but we'll move on here.
Another thing we should throw in is, along with, for some of you that don't understand how this works, is for every row you can only choose one.
Yes.
It works like that, and they're called tiers apparently. So you choose one tier per thing, and
they are.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they are. But yeah, so you can't just have one of this and another one of that, and then people start thinking, oh, it's overpowered. Because I was actually talking to my friend earlier today, and he said, oh, that's overpowered, because we were talking about warriors. They get different abilities for charges as their first tier off the bat at level 15. So he's like, I was listing all three of these, and he didn't understand, oh, you can only choose one. So he's like, oh, God.
Was he just like, oh my God, you get 2 charges, and both of them root them? So
yeah,
my goodness,
exactly.
warriors are broken.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, you only get one. And he's like, oh, that's a lot balanced. So.
Well, some stuff is like, it's really hard to choose between, which is why we gotta know, okay, all 3 in this row. So, this one is called Displacer Beast. Teleports the Druid up to 20... Wait, Druids get a blink? WTF?
Oh, hold on, just read it all.
Okay.
Read it all.
Teleports the Druid up to 20 yards in a random direction, purging all periodic damage effects and providing stealth for 10 seconds. Attacking or taking damage cancels the effect. Using this ability activates cat form.
Okay, so you don't even need to be in cat form to activate this.
Okay, what the hell?
So it's, I'm getting it, it's a vanish, blink.
It's a disengage, blink, vanish, oh my God,
Cloak of
macro
Shadows.
transformation
Cloak of Shadows.
kind of thing. Cloak of Shadows?
Cloak of Shadows.
Oh yeah. So they basically just jammed all those spells. They're like, hey, I want to take a whole bunch of extra, really overpowered spells, put them into one spell as if they were a macro, and then give them to Druids so they'll stop crying. Hey, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, so wait. I'm still having a hard time comprehending this. So, completely random direction, and then they vanish in Cloak of Shadows.
Wait, what is a blink's yard range? Do you know off the bat?
Something like 20 or 30.
Okay, because I was going to say, if a druid can blink farther than a mage, there's something a little bit wrong with that, just throwing that out there.
I don't know. Because it gives them the stealth, I don't think that it's going to be a very big deal. Like, the whole random thing is not going to be a big deal. And it provides stealth for 10 seconds. Does that mean that while that 10 seconds is active, they can activate their real stealth?
Exactly. Because you get out of combat, because it removes all periodic damage effects. So not really magic effects, but still any, periodic damage. So like say, a fire mage.
Dots.
Living bomb right on you. Yeah. You boom, pop that, you now have a vanish, no dots on you. So you probably will not, unless you somehow, get hit by a leg, like cast or something like that, then you pretty much now get 10 seconds of free stealth, and the time it takes to get out of combat from the last hit you took is 5 seconds. So you have an extra 5 seconds to click your stealth button.
Wait, doesn't stealth imply that they're out of combat already?
Yes, you have to be out of combat to hit stealth. But then, no, this is a vanish.
Yes, which takes you out of
combat. Because it provides you with automatic stealth for 10 seconds.
Yes.
And that means only 10 seconds. If I'm reading that correctly, if I'm taking that in correctly.
So the question is that, are they going to make it so that you can be stealth but still technically be in combat? Or are they just going to automatically remove your combat and let you go into a full stealth?
Wait, it doesn't... I see what you mean. Like, if a rogue vanishes, you're automatically put out of combat.
Yes.
But I don't think... I'm actually curious. That is a good question. Mm-hmm. Because I don't see the reason why they would give you an extra 10 seconds rather than just a straight up, stealth for